Hey guys, Grayson Goff here with BKI Paintball. We're going to be breaking down the 2015 SPL Memorial Cup field for you guys playing on May 23rd and 24th, or if you're practicing this weekend, you can try out some of this stuff. The event's going to be at Extreme Paintball Experience. So right away, I kind of want to talk about my initial reaction to seeing this field layout. It reminds me of the old X-Ball fields. If any of y'all seen a picture of like the old skinny X and the tiny pins they used to have, they typically set up a lot of the fields. I guess this was back during the first formation of the NXL, where they had it was a real X, and they had they were pins. They were smaller pins, but and there was a lot more of them. But basically, the field design was very similar in the fact that you had basically obviously X at the 50, the center 50, but you had these pins coming off the X in an X formation. And what this did is it made the field play very heads up. A lot of those old X-Ball fields, they would play, Dorito side against the Dorito side, snake side against the snake side. If you're able to shoot, majority of the guys out on your side, you're able to really push up into the 50 and wrap around and get some good kills on the other side, because it blocks a good portion of these cross-field shots. There's no way to lock it down, cross up and lock it down, because the pins are just they're all in the way. So that's the first thing to take away from this field. I predict it will play very heads up. If you're winning games, you're going to be winning it because you're shooting guys that you're looking at and battling with, not necessarily getting into good spots and shooting guys cross field. Doesn't mean you can't do that, though, and that's why we're going to look at the snake next. The goal of this snake side, and that's how I start all these field breakdowns, is I look for the bunkers we want to get to get kills from. And on this snake side, it's definitely this 50 big Dorito. If you can get to that 50 Dorito immediately, it opens up some kills on that snake side, or sorry, that Dorito side, where it almost like there's like 2 or 3 bunkers almost lined up right in a row. You have the middle Dorito, you should be able to kill. Maybe that pin could block it, but with that big Dorito, you could back up off it. You can find a shot on that guy. The temple on the Dorito side, the mini race leading into the Doritos. You will have this guy dead to rights, the mini race on the wire. The only safe spots it looks like on this Dorito side could be this corner, as well as Dorito, the first small Dorito possibly. Like I said, with this big Dorito, if you can get crafty and back up a little bit, stand up, you may get a shot on him. And then obviously we have no shot on the 50 Dorito. But right here, this 50 Dorito in the snake has some really good shots across field. The problem I see with it is that it's going to be tough to get there. So let's just start off. I think that, off the break, the snake one could be a bunker a lot of teams are taking. Whenever you have like an inset snake like this, it makes it a little bit easier for teams to take it off the break. And right away, a good drill you could work on this weekend is having your snake guys run off the box, slide into that snake, and work on just battling each other down the wire. That's going to be a battle we're going to see. You're probably going to see a lot on this field, guys slide in the snake and immediately having to engage in a battle with each other to try to move into snake 2, snake 3. So, right there, that's a drill you can work on. Whenever we have one of these disconnected snakes, we typically see that it plays slower. Guys are more afraid to make a move because there could be some paint coming in from across the field. Back center guy looks like he could possibly have a shot on this snake 1 to snake 2 move. So right there, it's going to slow this field down a lot. You're going to see, like I said, it's going to be heads up. You're going to be battling guys directly in front of you in your mirror a lot more than usual because you can see each other, and there's this disconnected snake's going to make it slow. But once you're able to work yourself into this 40, snake 2, snake 3, 40 area part of the snake, there are some kills that open up, and that's for sure. Let's see. You can put pressure obviously back up at the center. You can put pressure on that center Dorito, as well as the same bunkers that the Snake 50 can shoot as well. Not necessarily guaranteed kills at this angle because that temple they can hide from you, but you do. Man, this mini race on this Dorito side is gonna be a very hard bunker to play if they're in the Snake at all. That's a bunker you want to watch out if you're in on that Dorito side, because the Snake 3 and the 50 Snake both have really good shots on it, and it's just such a skinny bunker. So one of the things I kind of saw that could be possible is, typically whenever we're moving down the Snake, we're always moving down the outside, and then we get into the 50, and hopefully we have some good shots. Obviously that is the way to get into Snake 2 and Snake 3. But once you get into Snake 3, it may be possible if you're shooting on the inside, putting guys in, on your side of the field, you don't see much paint coming in from across the field. It may be possible to actually just hop over the inside and slide into this 50 Dorito. That's a move to try out and practice this weekend, because going down the wire, you have this corner should be able to shoot and see the edge of that wing. So if you're taking too much pressure, you're having trouble dominating the wire. Like I said, there could be that move from Snake 3, into the 50 Snake to get you the best shots on that side of the field. The corner is going to be important. Because he can control that wire and keep the Snake 3 at bay. I feel like there's going to be a lot of games where you have guys kind of, it's going to be kind of a stalemate over here in terms of you're going to have guy in the corner. Let me drag these out here. Guy in the corner, guy in the Snake 3, and you're just kind of, like I said, waiting. You're looking for cross shots, but you're waiting for somebody to die over here. And once somebody does die over here, that's when you can really push into that 50 Dorito. All right, so let's move on over to the Dorito side. Again, I want to talk about what the kill bunker is. Obviously, on this field, this big 50 Dorito. What is going to be tricky about this field is I feel like there's almost two ways to get there. You can either slide in this corner or this mini race and then just work your way down the wire. Obviously controlling the wire and putting guys in on the inside that are trying to keep you at bay. Or there is the possibility of sending a guy wide out here to the corner, and your attacker would shoot off the break in this temple, dead zone in this temple, and then work himself into the can, into this Mayan temple, and then actually into the 50 Dorito. That honestly to me may be the better option, because it keeps that guy relatively safe from the Snake side, while also it keeps them safe from the Snake side and also keeps them in these much bigger bunkers. If you come from the tape and for whatever reason maybe you get stuck in this mini race, now all of a sudden, like we were pointing out earlier, if they make Snake 3 or 50 Snake, you're pretty much dead to rights. We know this corner's safe. And if we can make the move up into the 50 Dorito from these bunkers right here, we know that these 3 bunkers are a lot safer than these 2 bunkers. So that's what I would look for right away. So what we can see from this 50 Dorito is that it does have some good shots across field. You may be able to sneak some balls in on this Snake 1. You can put pressure on that large temple on the Snake side. I don't know. Yeah, you should be able to shoot that corner. It'll clip right over that Dorito, but you can put pressure on these support guys on the Snake and possibly even Snake 1. You won't have shots on maybe Snake 2, but honestly, I feel like most people are going to slide into Snake 2 and they're going to go right to Snake 3. Nothing should really stop them. So you don't really have a shot on him, but like I said, these support guys, you're going to have good shots on. You won't be able to see back center, but if somebody's in that center Dorito, Snake side Mayan temple, or Snake corner, they should be pretty easy kills for you. Now, the center of the field is a little tricky. It's been a while since I've seen a large Dorito kind of as the god command center type bunker on a field. Generally, they're tough to play because it's just angled the wrong way. And honestly, from what it looks like, you really don't have any good shots to cut off either side of the field. These pins block a lot of the shots you possibly would have to really control a side of the field. So, or you know, it's like, or the point where you have a shot like here. I mean, you're playing your guns, you know, swung out really wide. You're not really controlling the side of the field. You're kind of waiting to die from the other side of the field. You could come up here and maybe catch a snake guy bumping if he's not paying attention. But I'd really look to use the center of the field. If you're going to use the center of the field, you use the actual X, and you go up there if you get kills off a side. Because when you're in the X, you can really lock a team out from moving down either side. Not so much from that center Dorito. You'd almost just use that just on your way to the X. What you do have to worry about is if you are in the X, guys sending bounce shots back off, off one of these pins back into you. So if you are in a situation where you're in the X and you're locking off the side of the field, you got to make sure to be careful of those bounce shots. If you're in a position where they take the X and your whole snake side or Dorito side is blown out, look to shoot those pins, man. That could bounce right in on that guy and give you all a free kill to kind of turn the game back around. All right, so next thing up, I want to talk about. Look at some of these lanes. Like I said, it typically will make, these pins make the field really heads up and does block some shooting lanes. But there will be a few. Like this is a good one for the snake side. You're gonna have to pick high or low whether they're taking the snake or the corner. But that should be a solid lane. And the good thing about those pins is they do block the shots, but they also kind of let you gauge where you're shooting. If you're shooting over the that second to last pin right there, if your balls are like just going over the top of that or right beside it, but over the top of that, generally that's the best spot to be shooting for that back line. The balls are at that point starting to drop, and if they're above that pin, they should be dropping right in that chest area of a corner runner. On this Dorito side, let's see. I mean, there is not much to shoot over here at all. You can shoot over these pins. There's a little sliver right here that you'll have to shoot for the corner runner, but that first mini race on the snake side should be a really safe bunker. That temple should be a really safe bunker. Even the corner. These look like tough lanes. There's a lot of big bunkers. Up near the 50 on this Dorito side, so it makes it hard to shoot this side of the field. I'd be looking to take that corner a lot off the break, and like I said, using that temple, that Dorito side temple to sneak up into that 50 Dorito. The temple, mine temple, those are big bunkers to battle, to hide behind and battle behind. So I suspect you'll see a lot more G's off the snake side, and Dorito side should be fairly easy to make off the break. What we can look at next, another good option for the center is if you're able to kill guys on this snake side, is using this can right here. Working in from back center of this mine temple and working yourself in there. You can lock out this zone really well. You should be able to, if you shoot the corner guy, you should be able to wrap on this this temple and this back center, really keeping them at bay and not letting them fill out. This may be honestly a better option for the center on the snake side instead of going to the X. Actually, just using this can. It's kind of similar to the Dallas layout, the Pro Dallas layout we played this year, where you had those big bunkers on the in the similar location on the field that really could control the snake side. Dorito side, is somewhat similar. You have you basically have your attacker, like I said, going through these three bunkers to try to get to the 50 Dorito. If you're in a situation where you get kills off the Dorito side, he could almost become the support role, whether he's in, whether he's in this can or this temple. Hold on, this can or this temple, he can control this side of the field really well. And instead of him continuing to attack, he becomes the support guy, and your corner runner ends up being the attacker because there's a lot less pressure on this side now. Your original attacker is now playing a support, control role, and he's in the best position to do it. And your attacker now has the ability to really advance down the side and get to that 50 Dorito. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's a possibility, or that's a situation where roles could change very quickly based on how the breakout breaks down. Other than that, guys, I mean, we can go through. I'll give y'all a basic breakout I would look to use. Oh, my little program's running slow right now. All right, we're gonna use we'll use tanks as guys since my X's and O's won't come up. So, like I said, we're gonna go like this. So, let me do this. This will be we'll do a snake off the break. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a pretty good. It's gonna be a pretty easy bunker to make, and it's worth the risk. I think if you can get there first and try to make that bump into snake 2, it's worth it. This second guy off on the snake side. He can almost dead zone and shoot, or come straight out and try to shoot the corner. So I'll give him an arrow. He's basically coming out and shooting back in his mirror, trying to shoot this gap. Back center guy, like that lane we talked about earlier, he's shooting for the corner. Snake as well. Dorito side lane, throwing it right over these pins, right through these pins and right over these pins, trying to kill that corner. And we have a snake runner and a Dorito corner runner. The idea of this breakout, or at least the secondaries I'd like to see, is this second guy, the number 2 on the snake side, would like to fill out to this corner. The back center guy should try to also fill where that guy just filled out of, and possibly if you get G's into this can and really control that side. The Dorito guy, like I said, this guy is almost the support guy out here. He's running the corner, but our attacker is going to be the laner. He's going to work himself into that temple. Should be a pretty easy move. But I mean, what you can kind of do is this second Dorito guy. He can shoot that lane more times than not. A lot of these teams are probably going to break out just like you, 2 Dorito way, 3 snake way. Is they're going to double that back center, and the first move. So you're going to shoot that lane, and this back center guy is going to look to move right away, is shoot that lane and then bring it right back in real quick in case he doesn't just decide to check you off. You may get a free kill here and there doing that. But so this guy's going to make his move to the temple, and then he's really going to be, I think, the attacker, and really work himself through the temple can and mine temple into that 50 Dorito, while these guys on the snake side are doing the same thing. They're we see. Oop! I lost one of my guys. There we go. We see these guys fill out and start helping this snake side move into that snake 3. If you're able to get a kill off this side, you can really look to move into the 50 Dorito. But that's basically kind of how I'd like to see this field break down. If you get a kill, like I said over here, you can move into that can and really control that side. All right, guys. Well, if y'all have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, Grayson@bkipaintball.com. And good luck, guys. Hope y'all have fun.